First ever Consolation Race is about to get underway at Daytona.
Start your engines!
Drivers that missed the Daytona 500, look at that field of race car drivers. We got a full field, 37 drivers. They're lined up inside row, or all the drivers on the duels. The closer you finish to the top three to try and transfer into the Daytona 500 is where you'll line up for the Consolation Race. 20 laps tonight with nothing on the line but just winning. That's it. Jack Porkins and Doug Lockrow had the privilege of being fourth in just being so close of making the Daytona 500. They'll line up on the front row. Then Allison Rain, Hayden Klein, Daniel Bouchard, Gatlin Downey, Zayden Davidson, Brandon Crasta, Nick Mace is in the field, Stephen Pollard III, James Ellison, Daniel Day, Matt DeLeo, Julio Caesar, William Brock, Brandon Parsons, Lane Sanders, Jordan Presto, Ian Dutta, Stratus DePaler, Patrick Smith, Kev Shear, Shade Eves, Tim Fiegel, Jake Rodders, AJ Jones, Randy Riggs Jr., Larry Hagan, Dewey Schramm III, Ryan Butcher, Amanda Evans, Carter Friesen, Malik Nevins, Andrew Rich, Edward Ziemba, Nick Pericles, RJ Bishop. As we come to take the green flag, the first ever Consolation Race in the Sony Cup Series, we are green. Good thing is, everyone's got a brand new car. Nobody wrecked in any of the duels. How are they going to race in tonight's event? We've never had a race like this after the Daytona 500 duels. But all of these drivers failed to qualify for the Daytona 500, and the FBRL decided put them all on the racetrack together and go for the win. Jack Porkins leads the field. They are double file. It almost looks the same as what the Sony shootout was. Is it going to race like that, though? Some drivers not able to keep up with the pack. Some drivers struggle to make it in the Daytona 500 by hanging on to the draft. Daniel Bouchard, Zayden Davidson on the bottom. Some of the drivers further back. Malik Nevins, Andrew Rich trying to stay with the lead draft. Ian Dutta coming up through the middle has Stratus DePaler for help. Coming to lap 3 of the event. Porkins out front still. Jack Porkins had a very good car in a Curtis Racing Chevy. He could have made the Daytona 500. Just had a few things work against him. A lot of good cars are actually in this duel, or actually in this Consolation Race. You have Porkins in here, Nick Mace, Zayden Davidson. Davidson's teammate won the duel, if that gives you any indication of the kind of equipment that's in this Consolation Race. Julio Caesar, Brandon Parsons had all of his teammates qualify in. He's in this event as well. Porkins out front, wanting to get a Sony Cup Series win in a non-points event. Going to the inside, Zayden Davidson is there. He has the help from Brandon Crasta. Zayden Davidson has never won a Sony Cup Series event. In fact, a lot of these drivers haven't, but Zayden Davidson in particular has been in the series for so many seasons. And he's a veteran in the series, and it's kind of an upset that Zayden Davidson did not make this Daytona 500. And a lot of these drivers are upset they're not going to be in the Great American Race. But this is an opportunity to showcase your ability and try and win a race at Daytona in the FBRL. Brandon Cresta driving for CM Racing in the Hardy's National Series, moving on the bottom. Here comes Nick Mace to the inside. Daniel Day, he's a winner in the Sony Cup Series in many seasons ago. He's there in the Texan car, down on the inside of Hayden Klein. James Ellison, Matt DeLeo. Up top, the high side is not really working as well as it was in the duels. Nick Mace, though, where he wants to be. Nick Mace was very, very disappointed. He did not qualify in for the Daytona 500. Now, this is not the first time that Nick Mace has failed to qualify for a Daytona 500. He failed to qualify for the race in Season 5. He ended up going on to finish second in the championship that season to Richard Johnson. Now, can Nick Mace seriously be a contender for the championship this season? He's on the back foot. A lot of these drivers are on the back foot in the championship mix, not being able to score any points for the Daytona 500. But the race will go on to Phoenix for round 2 after the Daytona 500. But the Daytona 500 pays so well, and it's such a big event for the series. Everyone's gutted to be in this event. They wanted to be in the Daytona 500. But Nick Mace, Hayden Klein, Daniel Day, they are clearly out front and ahead of these guys and pulling the gap, actually. You don't usually see drivers start to pull a gap, but Nick Mace has gotten to the lead and is pulling Hayden Klein and Daniel Day from the lead pack. Matt DeLeo getting put 3 wide. Here comes William Brock in the Shade Bianco racing car. This team I actually didn't expect to be that competitive coming into Daytona for Speed Weeks, but this little car right here is showcasing that, you know, the 83's hooked up and could be competitive and could have made the Daytona 500 if things worked their way. Now, it looks like a handful of drivers are in this draft. A few drivers, though, have struggled all Speed Weeks and are not in the lead draft. AJ Jones, all the way down in 32nd position. So 32 cars, about 27 of them are in the lead pack and have a chance to win this race. Nick Mace has got to be the favorite, though. He's got 3 car lengths on Matt DeLeo, Brandon Carrasta, Ellison. Everyone minding their own, though. No accident in the shootout, no accidents in the duels. Will there be the first crash of the season in the consolation race? A lot of drivers throwing it on the line. James Ellison nearly making contact with Doug Lockrow on the bottom. Chet Porkins is way up high. He started out front. He's way up high in the 3rd groove. That top side started to kick in about this lap on the Sony shootout. Could we start seeing that tonight? Nick Mace and Matt DeLeo. They've won in the Sony Cup Series before, so it's not surprising they found their way to the front. Matt DeLeo, his teammate Charlie Smith raced his way into the Daytona 500. And Matt DeLeo, what it would be if DeLeo for Joseph Strigley Racing could win this race. I keep acting like we're trying to race our way into the Daytona 500. This is just a consolation race. Just more prize money on the line for not making the Daytona 500. Mace in the 20. Not really having anybody challenge him at the moment. Brandon Carrasta, Allison Rain, Hayden Klein, Zayden Davidson. They're 3 wide back there with James Ellison. Ellison struggling on the bottom. The high side is probably about to start getting some momentum going. Carrasta has a fast Chevy. He could be a contender. Brandon Carrasta has a lot to prove. He's a young driver coming into the series, and he's got loads of potential in the Hardy's National Series. And here he is in a Flying Aces Racing entry, going to the outside of Allison Rain, trying to get some sort of help from Doug Lockrow. Matt DeLeo going for the lead. Matt DeLeo to the inside of Nick Mace. Matt DeLeo for Joseph Strigley Racing. Now, Joseph Strigley Racing does get some equipment and some help from the Monster Energy Racing team, and so they're getting some sort of assist from that organization, and Monster Energy Racing won the duel with Bobby Jones. But, I mean, Zayden Davidson's in this duel as well, or isn't in this consolation race. Getting myself tripped up. Nick Mace is up there with a pretty good Chevy. He's got the help, and Nick Mace is back out front. Nick Mace coming in this race, I'm sure he probably feels a little bit embarrassed that he has to be out here in this consolation race and not able to be in the Daytona 500. But that's just the way things panned out. In the duels, he was not quick enough to be in the race through the pole day, and he didn't race in. That's just the facts. He got beat. The man of the series with 36 wins and 2 championships and a Daytona 500. He got beat on the racetrack this weekend. And now it's his turn. He's got about 3 car lengths on second place. They're 3 wide behind him with Rain, DeLeo, and Klein. Hayden Klein trying to return to victory lane in the Sony Cup Series in some sort of fashion. He's been on the winless list for so long. And Hayden Klein trying to block Allison Rain. Allison Rain to the outside. Rain, formerly known as Johnny Gardner, to the top side. Has never won a Sony Cup Series race, but he's been in the series since season 12. But, man, DeLeo looking for something. He's probably going to go to the middle line. Nick Mace dominating this race. As we come back to the line, it'll be 6 laps to go. Brandon Parsons is coming to the front in the 0-0. Rain to the inside of Porkins. Zayden Davidson, Hayden Klein, Rain. A lot of drivers up here at the front that have never won. Haven't won in a while. And some drivers haven't ever won. So this is really exciting. You have a handful of drivers still in this mix. They're back to double file. Nick Mace continuing to own this race. Nick Mace was so heartbroken and upset that he would fail to qualify for the Daytona 500, as was many on the grid racing in this race. But him in particular, he had a car that I believe could have won the Daytona 500, but he just simply got beat. 5 cars have broke out from that pack, single file, with 5 laps to go. Jack Porkins makes a move. He's got Matt DeLeo behind him. Davidson goes the inside. Brandon Grasta, Daniel Day, Gatlin Downey, Stratus DePaler coming into the top 10. They're double file. No longer 3 wide. Jack Porkins looking for some running room. He's got a fast Chevy underneath of him. He's going for second place. Porkins could be a contender for Nick Mace. He's got a run. Mace is blocking it though. Nick Mace came into this race tonight saying this was going to be his no matter what. Who is going to be the one to beat the legend of the Sony Cup Series? The legend of the Sony Cup Series got bumped from the Daytona 500, and he's dominating the consolation race right now. Klein and Davidson trying to get something going on the high side. Patrick Smith coming up here late. Here comes Porkins making a move on Nick Mace. Brandon Crasta going to go with him. Nick Mace, Jack Porkins side by side. Curtis Racing, Mace Enterprises. A bunch of Chevys up here at the front in the top 5. Matt DeLeo for Joseph Shrigley Racing. What it could be if this team could win the consolation race. What kind of pride it would be just to get a win in anything in the Sony Cup Series. 3 laps to go. Nick Mace, the man right now. Matt DeLeo, Jack Porkins. What are they going to be able to do with Nick Mace? Like I mentioned, if anybody can beat Nick Mace tonight, this man has 36 wins and 2 championships. It would be big pride and brownie points to anybody that can beat him. Nick Mace is the man. And coming to 2 laps to go, is anybody going to dethrone the man as we come with 2 to go? Matt DeLeo giving it a run. He's going to the inside. Matt DeLeo and Joseph Shrigley Racing. This team is really surprising me. Charlie Smith surprised me by racing in. Matt DeLeo would definitely surprise me if he could beat Nick Mace head-to-head. But down the back straightaway, it is Hayden Klein with Patrick Smith and Allison Rain that has the momentum. Klein to the outside of Mace, but Klein pushes up through the corner. Patrick Smith to the inside of him. That was the one opportunity, I think, that slipped away. If Klein could have got to the corner panel, that could have been it. But Nick Mace seeing the white flag, even in a consolation race where the opportunity for a race win is right in front of you, it is still the same old driver that has won 36 times that looks poised to take another win. Even in a 9-points race, Nick Mace not even really having to pose a challenge or a block. Down the back straightaway, Jack Porkins and Zayden Davidson's coming to the bottom. Here comes Porkins. Porkins giving it one last go. He's alongside Porkins and Mace. Porkins peeks out ahead. Porkins for the last lap challenge, but Mace trying to rally back on the high side. Coming to the start-finish line. Who's it gonna be? Mace. Porkins at the line. Give it to Nick Mace. Nick Mace edges out Jack Porkins, but give Jack Porkins a round of applause for giving it a try. Nick Mace denies everyone tonight. And again, it is the 36-time winner and 2-time champion of the series that is victorious. Nick Mace over Jack Porkins, Matt DeLeo, Patrick Smith, Zayden Davidson, Hayden Klein, William Brock, Allison Rain, Gatlin Downey, and Brandon Cresta. What a race tonight by these drivers. All these drivers failed to qualify for the Daytona 500, but man, if they didn't put on a show to try and beat Nick Mace. It was the field versus Nick Mace, and Nick Mace put on a whooping on him, and he almost allowed Jack Porkins to take the win. First play down the back straightaway, Nick Mace was kind of just running the middle line, protect the high side, and Jack Porkins and Zayden Davidson had a heck of a run. Patrick Smith gave it a go as well, but on that high side just was where you wanted to be. And coming to the line, you see Porkins there, Nick Mace, DeLeo, Patrick Smith for S3 Motorsports. What a run for him tonight. But Mace had the momentum on the high side and was able to edge out Jack Porkins. What a race by all 37 drivers that failed to qualify. Even Patrick Smith and Zayden Davidson beat on each other as they came across the line. They were giving it a go, and what a race they put on. I think a lot of drivers can be proud of what they tried to do. 4 speed weeks, even though it resulted in defeat for a lot of these drivers. 37 of these drivers failed to qualify. They were able to contest another race win. Failing to qualify for the Daytona 500, it really hurts. But the season moves on, and we move on to Phoenix for round 2 after this weekend. And for drivers like Nick Mace, even though winning this race, it's going to feel good, but even in the end of it, you're going to feel like you didn't even deserve to be in this field. You deserve to be in the one that was on Sunday. But everyone needs to hang their heads up. The season will move on. Next time you'll see me, it'll be for the Daytona 500 on Sunday. But make sure you tune in for the Napa Truck Series and the Hardee's National Series as they open the season up this weekend. And I can't wait to see how that pans out as we get you ready for the season openers for the FBRL. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time.